Coming up on Mountain News this morning, an Eastern Kentucky Health Department works to shine a light on diabetes in our region. And Kentuckians can now enroll in a state-run healthcare program in order to save some money on insurance costs.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Well, good morning to you again. It's 5:59, almost 6 o'clock here on this Tuesday morning. I'm Dakota Makris, and it's raining. I'm sure as most of you all can hear and see. Let's head over to Brandon for a look at your forecast. And Brandon, some positives though. I was just thinking, this could be snow.
I don't know if that's a positive or not, but it could be.
It could just be snow falling, but it's just rain.
It is just rain,
Yeah.
thankfully, for right now. Now, in the higher elevations that are in the 30s, it could be a little bit of wintry mix. But, yeah, I think for the most part this morning, we're just that cold rain out there this morning, and that's definitely a cold rain. Let's take a look at the live pinpoint Doppler radar and see what's going on as we head out the door. A line of rain from basically London all the way back into parts of far eastern Kentucky and even parts of southern West Virginia and southwest Virginia. So we're going to continue to see that as we head to our first part of this day. We'll see from London back through Clay County over to Hazard, through Hindman, all the way back over just south of Prestonsburg, probably down into the trying to think which area, if that's McDowell down that way, I think it is, and then over toward Pikeville as we head through this morning. Temperatures down to 39 in Wise, but you see temperatures falling as the rain continues to fall. We're looking at low 40s there in most areas, but a couple of upper 40s though, although I'll get my words out here in a second. Middlesboro down to 46 from 47, so they're starting to fall as well this morning. A little extra coffee, which I definitely need this morning because it's Monday 2.0, and the temperature's a little cooler out there. Your forecast high is 47 today. The average high is 63. The record high set back on this date at the National Weather Service office at Jackson in 2016 of 84. Dakota?
All right, Brandon, thank you. The congregation at a southeastern Kentucky church are mourning the death of a beloved priest. Our Corey Sanning has the reaction to the sudden death from Bell County.
In Middlesboro, members from a church are mourning and trying to find some clarity at losing an important leader.
It was very shocking. My wife told me about the news. I could not believe it. He was so young.
A native of India, Father Kiran Varaparla served as priest at St. Julian Catholic Church for more than 2 years. And when news of his sudden death hit church members Monday, it was hard for them to put their emotions into words.
I just texted with him, yesterday and seen him yesterday at church. And, he was fine then. And, to hear that he had passed so suddenly, it was just completely devastating.
The cause of death is unknown at this point, and funeral arrangements have yet to be finalized, leaving friends looking for answers.
I don't know what to say, but it was so shocking. But he was a godly man, and he was a good servant of God. The community will miss him as well.
Despite the circumstances, Varaparla's church family is using this time to reflect on his legacy.
Father Kieran aims to do it before he turned 40, and that was the focus of his life, was to serve people, and that's what he did up until, the day he died.
A life defined by helping others, physically and spiritually. In Middlesboro, Corey Sanning, WYMT Mountain News.
Well, church officials were unavailable for comment, but those who knew Varaparla well say they hope to have answers soon. The Pike County Health Department is working to shine a light on diabetes as November is National Diabetes Month. Public Health Director Tammy Riley says the department is pushing for people to become more informed and prepared to face concerns about diabetes. She says the different types of diabetes can be addressed in many ways, but believes that the increase in type 2 diabetes, even for young people, has shown a lack of access.
It's a very large county, and finding your way to, even within your own community, within the county, getting access to that local park or trail or facility, sometimes in and of itself is the challenge. So those are some of the key factors that we're looking at.
Now, Riley says she hopes to see funding for accessible programs in the future, but adds that the health department can already refer people to certain programs free of charge to inform and get people on the right track. The final approval could come as soon as today for Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for children 5 to 11 years old. The FDA recommended the child-sized dose last week, but the final say is up to the CDC. which is expected to approve the vaccine. Pfizer's pediatric vaccine has 2 shots, each 1/3 of the adult-sized dose. About a third of parents say they are ready to get their children vaccinated. Another third say they will wait and see.
The safety of my children is more important than my own safety. So if I'm not going to do it, then I wouldn't force my kids to do it either.
If the vaccine gets approval by the CDC today, children could begin receiving shots as soon as Wednesday. According to data from Pfizer, the child-sized dose was nearly 91% effective in preventing COVID. During Monday's Issues and Answers, WYMT anchor Steve Hensley talked with Public Health Director Scott Lockhart about COVID-19 and the Delta variant, discussing the Kentucky River District's COVID cases as we begin to climb out of the Delta variant surge. The Kentucky River District Health Department serves 93,000 people in 7 counties.
You know, COVID, we've had a very much of a roller coaster period here lately. Thankfully, we saw a lot of calm during the summer months.
Public Health Director Scott Lockhart says COVID cases are going down, but the district has a total of 18,000 cases. It took from March 2020 to August 2021 to reach more than 10,000 cases.
And then in the past 8 weeks, we're now over 18,000 cases. So that kind of frames it for people to understand how many cases and what this Delta surge has really been like for us.
Saying Delta is the most transmissible variant, but health organizations are watching other variants that are on the horizon.
To try to look at what's maybe coming next for us here in eastern Kentucky and the state at large, and so we're trying to prepare.
The peak of COVID cases were reached during the first week of September, causing hospitals to reach capacity.
What we were seeing, that the number of people in the hospital, it was running about 90-95% unvaccinated individuals in the hospital.
Saying a third dose and a booster are different. A third dose is for those patients where the first 2 doses of Pfizer and Moderna did not produce the desired number of antibodies necessary for them.
We find individuals who are immune compromised, that may be organ transplant recipients, maybe cancer patients who are undergoing chemotherapy.
Boosters help those keep their immunity against the virus.
Individuals who have taken both doses of Pfizer or Moderna, that there may be waning immunity over time.
The past 19 months have been hard for everyone, but personally, Lockhart says,
the mental impact of COVID has been great on all of us. So don't forget to take the time to step back, do what keeps you healthy.
Reminding you not to take life for granted. Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News. Lockhart says studies show Moderna offers the best protection against COVID. The positivity rate continues to decline in the Commonwealth, reaching close to 5%. Now, we still have several counties in the red zone, but the majority are now orange. Some positive news in the fight against COVID. Governor Andy Beshear announced 568 new cases of COVID yesterday, increasing the statewide total to 745,353. There were 26 new deaths as well, bringing the death toll to 9,814. The positivity rate is a little more than 5%. You can always find the latest COVID-19 information on WYMT.com. Governor Beshear gave the State of Education address yesterday. The governor says his administration remains education first and promised to fight for raises for teachers in next year's budget. He also addressed recent economic improvements he hopes will create careers for generations of Kentucky children. The governor also talked about essential workers in Kentucky schools. He thanked all the teachers and school workers for the work they have done during the pandemic.
You're truly the best of Team Kentucky. You have fought this thing in so many ways, trying to put our kids first. And while there are many out there that might complain about what we have had to do during this, I just want to be grateful to you. Every day, whether it was remote learning or whether it was getting my kids back in school, you all worked tirelessly.
The governor also read off several names of educators and school employees who have died during the pandemic. Some Kentucky voters will head to the polls today. 3 General Assembly seats are up for grabs in special elections. One is in our area, in the 89th District, after Representative Robert Goforth resigned. Democrat May Saramek, a small business owner in Berea, faces Republican Timmy Truitt, the principal of McKee Elementary. That district includes Olive Jackson, northern parts of Laurel, and southern parts of Madison counties. There's also a closely watched governor's race in neighboring Virginia.
So Dakota and I were watching this just a couple of minutes ago. We noticed something. Let's go on over to the satellite and radar loop for the last few hours. I want you to watch what happens. I'm going to try to circle it here. Look right here. Next time it rolls around. There's a little bit of wintry mix trying to come up in there in the higher elevations, and we talked about that a little earlier, that could be a possibility. Not showing up on pinpoint Doppler radar just yet, but some heavier pockets of rain still rolling through this morning. Temperatures on top of the mountain, 34 on the Mesonet, and then Wise just down the road at 39. So again, possibility of some mixing up there in the very highest elevations this morning, maybe a few snowflakes. Everybody else in the low to mid 40s for the most part this morning, heading toward 47 later this afternoon. Rain chances this morning, then those skies will start to clear as we head deeper into the day. And as we look ahead, a chilly week overall. We stay below 50 all the way through Friday. First flakes are possible as we head into tomorrow night. I should be seeing a few flakes this morning up on those higher elevations. And after that, we dry out and warm up. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, the time is 6:10, still ahead. When we come back, a once prominent South Carolina attorney faces some new troubles that could cost him thousands.